What's Bruce Lee's favorite drink? Hey guys, G Torado here with another Torado on Toys, and today we're going to be reviewing our first Super 7 Ultimate Bruce Lee The Warrior Edition, and I'm really stoked because I am quite a Bruce Lee fan. I love his movies, I love his philosophies. Anytime I'm feeling down on myself or recovering from an injury or surgery, I tend to go to his films just to uplift my spirits and try to regain my hopes and confidence and all that good jazz. So I felt this was just appropriate to do a review on this really cool action figure. So real quick, if you are brand new here, welcome to the channel where I also share videos of my artwork, vlogs, and podcasts called Rated G. If you've been here before, welcome back, and thank you so much for returning. It really means a lot to me. And if you enjoyed any point of this video, please hit all the necessary buttons, like, subscribe, ring the notification bell to keep up with the new uploads, and please leave your thoughts in the comments section. I love interacting with you guys and just hearing your thoughts on the video or just on the subject in general. So please do so if you have the time. But yeah, so you can follow me on social media, and if you want to help support my art business, I do sell original art and prints at the link below, which will take you to my online shop. All right, so check that out at your convenience. So let's get to the review. Okay, here we are. We're gonna unbox this bad boy. This here. Love the cover so far. Very cool. So let's just admire the packaging here. I love the packaging art. Very simple but very cool at the same time. We got the dragon here, and it looks like it's in a sleeve. So yeah, look at that. All right, so here we are with the man, the legend, Bruce Lee, and nicely laid out are all of his accessories, which we will go over towards the end. But first, I want to admire the sculpt of this figure. I do think Super 7 captured the likeness pretty well. I think his stature is nicely represented. I do want to point out this is Bruce Lee from The Way of the Dragon, where he fights Chuck Norris at the Coliseum. And the main giveaway, aside from his clothing, is his hairstyle, because Super 7 does have other versions of Bruce Lee, and you can automatically tell the hairstyle is different. Basically, his hair is longer on the other figures. So his hair is a little shorter here, and if you've seen the movie, his hair is shorter. But yeah, I think the sculpt overall is pretty nice. Again, I think it's pretty accurate to his likeness. I love that they use like this elastic like fabric for his shirt here. Yeah, like his musculature is nicely done, and yeah, so I'm actually pretty happy with how he looks. Next, I want to talk about his color app. Again, pretty close, but what I've noticed is his hands, because they, you see here laid out, he's got all these hands to swap, and they are made with like I guess it's like, it feels rubbery. So I guess because of the material, the colors, you can actually just tell right away that, they're a little off. So, depending on how hardcore of a collector you are, this might be, a negative, maybe a turn off. Me personally, it's no big deal, especially the fact that, all right, you're working with plastic and like a rubbery plastic. So I don't know. I tend to be a little more forgiving when stuff like that happens. But it would have been nice, if the hands, if everything, all the colors did match. But again, not too much of a biggie for me personally. But if that's something that you guys have issues with, I would love to just hear your thoughts and opinions on that. Another thing I want to point out, because before I purchased him, I was looking at the promo photos, and in the photo that they provide, you actually see his pants. They have texture. But if you look very closely at the very bottom of this photo, it tells you that final figure may vary. So I guess in my case, I got the copy where it's a solid, smooth, black. And, I kind of wish I got the version with the textured pants, but it's fine. Honestly, I'm just happy to have a Bruce Lee figure in my possession. But yeah, so that's like one of the things I noticed. Now I want to cover the articulation and their use of ratchet joints, because when I was taking them out, I've noticed there's a lot of or lack of ball joints. I believe he only has ball joints here in his leg here, like near the hip flexor. I think there may be a ball joint somewhere above the ankle, and a ball joint for the head. So, I prefer figures with this level of articulation, with this amount of articulation, that they would have all ball joints, in the knees, the ankles, the wrists, even like, here at the bicep bend here in the shoulders. But yeah, that's not the case here. But it's all right. So while we're at it, let's check out his range of motion and all of his articulated points here. So starting at the head, which, by the way, let's just take a closer look at the head sculpt there. And actually looking closely, I noticed there's like two little black specks there on the chin. So hopefully when we look at the other heads, that they're not there. But yeah, I think for what Super7 has accomplished, I mean, you can tell it's Bruce Lee. But yeah, so at the head, you can rotate it pretty nicely. Although, because of the way the head sculpt is with his hair here, the back of the neck, you really can't do much with the head tilts, all right? Same thing from here, like you can get slight tilt, right? But that's about it as far as the head goes. And then going back to the ratchet joints, so here at the shoulders, you can get a nice lateral raise there at the shoulder. It does have a separation here where the shoulder meets the bicep, so you get a nice twist there. Same thing here at the bottom of the bicep. All right, you got a nice rotation there, and then of course a good bicep bend. And then at the wrist, again, you can twist it, and then because it's a ratchet joint, you can actually bend it, and you know, get a nice like forearm flex there, you know, and even a reverse flex. So that's good. And I see through the shirt, it looks like he's, yeah. So if you look here, he's got, I mean, it doesn't seem like you can do much here in terms of like hinging back or forth. So I'm not sure why they included that when you can't really do much. Yeah, you can't even really twist there. You can twist at the waist though, so that's good. And it feels like there might be a ball joint here at the waist, but you know, very limited in terms of how much you can hinge that. But again, at the hip flexor, you can, you know, can kind of move it around and rotate it. Now, if you've seen other videos that I've done with toy reviews, especially with articulated figures, I always test out their sidekicks, and who better to test out the sidekick than with a Bruce Lee figure? Now, right off the bat, I mean, you can't really get much of you know, even like a split. So that's limited there, but because there is a ball joint, you can sort of manipulate it in a way where, and you can twist at the knee, which is nice. So you can get a sidekick from him, which is nice, because I would have been very disappointed to, you know, not be able to pull off a sidekick with an articulated Bruce Lee action figure. And I'm sure with, you know, just adjusting the weight distribution, you can get him to stand. Let's see. There you go. So I'm happy about that. Right. So yeah, it's an interesting approach with the joints for the legs, you know, because again, you can't get a, I mean, you can get a front kick, but it just looks weird in a front view, right? And then his back kick too, you know, it's very, you know, angled to the side, and it's like the type of material, the plastic here, like for his pelvis, it feels like almost like like a rubbery type of material. So there's that. So again, we got the twist at the knee, which is nice. I do find it interesting with how they separated there. You know, it's like that weird kind of, you know, there's an arch. It does have a good knee bend, so that's nice. But it's just like, if you know, it's just kind of weird if you want to make it look like he's sitting or, you know, doing a high knee. It's just that's kind of odd. So again, interesting approach with some of the joints here. And now at the ankle, so you got a good twist, and again, I believe there is a ball joint up somewhere here, because there's like a little bit of a, you know, kind of get a bit of a tilt. All right, so I do believe there's a ball joint. And then at the very bottom of his ankle, looks like we got a ratchet joint there. You can tell by looking at the heel. And let's see what the range of motion is like on this. So you get 2 clicks out of that. So that's as far as you can, you know, point his toes out. So not bad, you know. You know, it can still work with the, you know, we want to make him look like he's doing a kick. So yeah, overall, it's a pretty decent, you know, his articulation is pretty decent. I just think, again, the way they separate his knee, yeah, I don't know why they would do it like that. Like, if you look at it from the side view, it's very interesting. So, yeah, pretty, you know, I think it's all right. I do prefer ball joints on all of them. But, you know, it is what it is. One thing I am noticing though, if I straighten his arms down, they actually look a little uneven, right? Or is it just me? Is it just me? I feel like I don't know. When I look through my screen here, they don't look uneven, but when I'm looking at it live, it looks like this is higher, just a smidge, a bit higher than that arm. So I don't know. You tell me. I mean, because if that's the case, yeah, I don't know. It like when I'm looking at it live, the lengths seem off, but on the camera, they look even. So I don't know. It's like it's kind of bugging me out a little bit. And then just to point out, like fun fact, if you didn't know, Bruce Lee actually has is a gimp. He has a gimpy leg. Like one leg is longer than the other. But this figure, as I'm looking at it, it looks like one arm is slightly longer than the other. But again, I don't know. Maybe it's just me, or maybe it's the sculpt of his torso here that I don't know. So whatever. I mean, it's it is what it is. I might just be nitpicking here at this point. I am noticing this arm is a little loose on my copy, so oh well. So overall, again, as far as the sculpt goes, I think it's it captures the likeness. Again, I love the material for the shirt. Articulation's pretty good, despite the ratchet joints. And going back to the texture of his pants, I wish I got the version that they were showing in the photos, because with his coat here, it's like a nice, I don't know what type of fabric it is, but if you look at the photo, it would match the coat more, if it was textured on the figure. And actually in the photo, the coat looks more smoothed out. Like it doesn't look like it has like a fabric texture, right? So it's kind of weird. So that's that. Actually, you know what? Let's put his coat on. Why not? I think this would be the best way to do it, probably. It's probably easier doing it without his hands. But actually, no. Since they're fists. Now, as far as, with the coat, I love the material. I love that they're using, like, cloth and fabrics and stuff. But I wish, I don't know, maybe because I have I have sausage fingers, so I wouldn't be able to close his coat. So, in my case, I don't know, maybe, if someone else gets a different copy, maybe they'd be able to, I'm glitching over here. Maybe they'll be able to, get these knots through the hoops, but my fingers are certainly incapable of that. So yeah, this is him with his coat on. Not too bad, I like it. I'll keep it on. All right, so now let's go over the accessories. All right, so as you can see, we got two head sculpts here. This one is his signature face. So, pretty nice. And I'm not noticing any, I'm just observing the color application. I'm not noticing any, specks or anything like that. So, that's nice. And then another sort of signature look that he tends to give in his movies is the side eye. And again, there's like a weird little speck there. Also, if you might hear a noise in the background, my belly's and grumbling, so I might be a little hungry. Anyway, so there's like a little faded speck there along the jawline, but that's no biggie. I do wish they included another head of him smiling, because, you know, he smiles quite often in his movies, especially in The Way of the Dragon. So that would have been nice. I can't get them to stay up. It would have been nice if they included another head of him smiling. Now I want to address the nunchucks, nunchakus. We got the versions with the chain, which I think is really cool that they do that, right? So I think that's really nice. That's a nice touch there. And then you have another set with the plastic. Now, I guess this is, I guess this is like if you want to pose him mid-action, right? You can, just have the nunchucks like just kind of stay up in the air just to give it dynamic look. As far as this one here, I don't know. Maybe just, because if you have one, maybe you got to have another one that's plastic. But I imagine the purpose would be to have it around his neck like he often does in other movies. I can't think of one right now off the bat. But, I'm probably thinking of Enter the Dragon. So, I'm thinking that's maybe why they have this one. You can obviously do the same thing with the chain, with the real chain. So, yeah, that's an interesting decision that was made there. I get it with this one, right? I get it with this one, but with the other one, I don't know, maybe just for the sake of having another set. Then you have his bow staff, which he does often use in his other films, and he does use a bow staff in The Way of the Dragon in one of the fight scenes earlier in the film. And then we have, 6 pair of hands, all in different, positions. You got 2 sets of hands that are capable of holding his weapons. Whoop. All right. Now, because these are on, ratchet joints, when I see those pins, it looks like you got these 2 ridges here for security, but I don't know, because they're, they're thin. I'm always paranoid that they will eventually snap, depending how many times you swap the hands. So, that does make me nervous. We'll test that out in just a minute. But yeah, you kind of have all of the, just the sort of signature hand poses that he often does, right? But I gotta address this one. All right, my mind is certainly in the gutter, and I like to think that, the artist behind this design, maybe their mind was in the gutter too. So yeah, I just think that's kind of funny. So another open palm hand. So yeah, it really, this is cool too. So yeah, it really gives you a wide, variety of poses you can put him in. So let's see how, how well the swap of the hands and his head goes, because I don't know, they kind of make me nervous. Let's see, I want to make sure, hold this securely. Let's see how hard or how much you have to really give this a yank or pull. All right, not too bad. All right, let's see how. I'm gonna put this hand in. Let's see how well this goes in. Okay, so yeah, pretty standard, I guess. So yeah, you just got to make sure you get those 2 clicks in and it is securely inserted. So nice. Now the head, let's see. Okay. So we can actually get a nice look at the ball joint here. And it looks like, yeah, so there's a little bit of, you know, tilting there. Not much, but yeah. Which head are we gonna swap in? You know, let's go with this one. Oh. And, oh, okay. Okay. All right. Not too bad. I just always worry about when you're pressing it in. I always worry about the angle you're pressing it in, because God forbid you break that ball joint, you know. So I don't know. I just worry about, you know, the wear and tear. You know, what's the, you know, how many times can you be swapping his parts before that wear and tear really, you know, does permanent damage. I think overall I'm pretty happy with this purchase. I mean, obviously for a Bruce Lee fan, it's actually pretty awesome. So if you're a toy collector and a Bruce Lee fan like myself, I do want to point out one last thing, and that is, if budget is a concern, I would certainly go with Super7, because in my opinion, I do think they're more affordable than Figuarts version of Bruce Lee. So keep that in mind, and that's my review for today. If you enjoyed yourself throughout any point of this video, please like and subscribe. It would certainly help out my channel. And be sure to ring that notification bell so you can keep up with the new uploads. Leave your thoughts or questions in the comments section. I'd be more than happy to answer them. And in the meantime, you can catch me on social media. And if you want to support my art business and see what I have for sale, just visit the link down below. And that is it. I hope to catch you on my next review. But until then, never grow up. Keep enjoying your toys and be water, my friends. Peace out.